Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and safety and much blessings to the Yakim that's pushing this truth out the four corners of the earth. And all truth is sincerity and in diligence. Shalom. All right, and I got a few articles here. One the brother has sent me. This one right here. Brother had sent me that article, you know, and we just, was going over, we was talking about it, for the past couple of days, but the spirit is on me to do it, and I came across this right here. Okay, uh, look at this, and these articles are like, rather new. This is April 17th, right? Came out published April the 17th, which not even it's barely a month ago. Okay, and here it is, May 2nd. So that was a few days ago. So the title of these articles here are proposed snap cuts could hit Louisiana families, retailers hard. Trump budget would slash rental aid by 40% and let states fill the gap if they want. If they want. All right. So, you know, like call on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, man, because if you can't see what this is, then you got the spirit of slumber on you. Matter of fact, we'll just get that real quick. Let me see. Quick nav. Is it Isaiah 29 and 9? It says, "Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink." Okay, you see? For Yahweh had poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep and had closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, had covered. Right? So, these people, you know, majority, like, well, a lot of women, because this right here, the SNAP and the rental, benefits and whatnot, rental aid, is a lot of women that that utilize that benefit, that utilize that from this devil, man. Okay, and when the fact that I like the reason why I brought this out here is because you know Jake has been warning these women, man, been warning and warning, and just as well as you men, but you know really and truly, when you deal with the woman, when you look at the woman, the so-called, Israelite woman, I mean, not so-called Israelite, well, the Israelite woman, a lot of them, they they deal with this, these treats, man, these goodies they issue, that Esau Edom issue out to them. Now, you got women that don't get food stamps. You got women that don't get rental aid, all right? But, I'm going to show you how this is going to affect you too, okay? So, it says, "Stay yourselves, one to cry ye out. They are drunken," right? They drunk off of Babylon the Great, man. They drunk off this, the serum up from the serpent, okay? Not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. Off of what? Philosophy, Western culture, which has destroyed the minds, of the Israelite women because they were the target the whole time, you know. So Esau Edom, he used the woman to get to the man. Okay. So without further ado, we'll get in these articles. So it says Trump budget would slash rental aid by 40% and let states fill the gap if they want. Now here's the problem with that. All right, it's already cutting rental aid by 40%. That's a lot. That's shy of half. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, they like, if you pay a certain amount of rent, let's say the government pays a certain amount of your rent, right? Like I say, mainly women are on this. They pay. Let's say they pay a certain amount of your rent. Now let's just say your rent is $1,000. Let's just do this in percentage. Let's just say that, okay, your rent, just for an example. All right, let me do this. All right, I got my calculator out right here. Okay, say your rent $1,000, right? And but they pay, let's say, uh, they pay 900 of that, and I've seen that, man. Trust me, I've seen that. I've seen that the rent they'll take up that much, man, for these this rental assistance, this government aid, man. These welfare programs, man, that these women be on, man. Okay, you got some men that's on there too, man. But that's a you know rare compared to women. So let's just say your rent $1,000. They pay 900 of that. So they pay 900. So you get $900 from the government. You just gotta come up $100 a month for rent. Boy, I wish I could, boy. But let's say $900. Let's just take $900, and it's just for an example. Let's just for that, and let's just $900 times 40%. It's $300. $360. So 900 40%. So they cutting 40%. Like 900. So you so if they paying 540 is either if they pay $900 and let's say they gonna slash rental aid by 40%. So you take 40% from 9, right? So they only pay 540, and you gotta pay up that other 360, right? So now they only paying, instead of 9, they paying 540. All right, let's just say you know you got your rent $1,200, right? And they pay, let's say they pay 700. So they pay 700. I hope I'm doing this math right. So they pay 700. So you get a $700 voucher, right? $700 voucher from Esau Edom. So let's just 40. Let's see, 280. So now maybe let's see, $700. So they cut in 40%. If they mean that they cut it down to only paying 40 slash rental aid by 40%. So they slash rental aid by 40%. So slash 40%. Uh, so they just cut it for 40%. So they okay. So 280. So 700 280. All right, so they'll pay 420. You got to come up with 280, which means it's still a rising cost in what you have to pay, man. Right? And a lot of these women that be on that shit, they still, be struggling. Even though they got all these rental assistance, housing vouchers, SNAP benefits, man. All right, this right here, like, has gotten women comfortable, real comfortable. You know, and which is going to be their demise. So let's just read. It says President Trump has repeatedly promised to make America affordable again. But for those Americans most in need, his administration latest budget plan would dramatically shrink the federal renting aid that helps keep millions of people housed, right? It says in his request for the Department of the Housing and Urban Development, the White House called the system of federal renting assistance dysfunctional and proposed essential ending Section 8 and other housing voucher programs. So hold on, they want to end Section 8 and other voucher programs. Its plan calls for cutting rental aid by 40% and sending that money to states to design their own rental census program based on their unique needs and preferences. So it's going to be up to your state, man, right? And they may have the same attitude. You might have a Republican state, right? Being a Republican state, but and they got the same attitude towards Donald Trump. Like, look, man, we don't care. We're tired of supporting you, low lives, man. They may because hey, when you think about it, it's a lot of nigger women that's on rental assistance, that's on these vouchers, these housing vouchers and whatnot. So you had that, you'd be at the mercy of your a whole bunch of Edomite government officials, all right? And they vote. So and whoever, whatever voters, how many voters vote for it, that's who win. So it's up to the state. And they may be like, hey man, go get a damn job, you know, and then now you just fucked, because you've gotten so used to Esau Edom, him feeding you, you know, because the so-called black woman, what she's done, she's took a covering and not a covering of the Most High, right? Uh, that's Isaiah 30. So let me see. This is Isaiah 30. It says, this is Isaiah 31. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Right? They took the so-called black woman have taken a covering that is not of the Lord, man. They looked and they took independency, right? And ruling and lording over the man, and saying that, oh, I did this on my own, I don't need no man. They took that type of covering, but that's not of the spirit of the Lord. That walked down into Egypt, right? The so-called white man to Egypt, right? And that has not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves with the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, right? So the so-called black woman, a lot of women, has taken on the shadow of Egypt. Now we understand that this was, this happened, anciently, but this applies today. Like this really happened, all right. So, but this applies spiritually. This applies today that our people look to the shadow of Pharaoh, which the modern day Pharaoh would be, the Edomites, all right. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh, the strength of these Edomites, be your shame, right? And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. Because this right here, this got a lot of people in a frenzy. If they paying attention, or a lot of them don't pay attention. They just depend and solely lean on the government, man. Thinking that, they going to always take care of them because they've, always been on the system. Always been reliant on this devil, man. You know, so that's why it says the strength of Pharaoh shall be your shame, because hey, the Esau Edom, his strength come from the Most High, man, and the Most High gonna do whatever He tell him to do, and that's why this is going like this, man. So you're gonna be at the mercy of whatever your state, man. You all who depend on this. Trump's budget would slash rental aid by 40%. All right, that's a big ass cut, man. That you're gonna have to deal with. You're gonna have to deal with, and at the same time, while prices are going up on everything. I don't know if I did that math right, but I know it's gonna like really be a blow to society, man, and regular civilians, and middle age. I mean, not middle age, middle class citizens. And like definitely the poor. Okay, and I'm not gonna say. I'm not even gonna. Well, yeah, yeah. You got some women that live. That live on a system that you could consider middle class, okay? Which with adding on this SNAP, food stamps, so you get rental assistance and and food stamps. Now, that's shelter and food. That plays a big part in a home, man. All right, because you got to pay the mortgage, you got to pay the rent, and everybody gonna have a grocery bill. Everybody gonna have to pay for some little groceries. You see, so you getting housing assistance and you getting food stamps. You living you good. You living good. You straight. And say and a lot of women have been on that for a long time, man. You know, they turn their back on the actual family structure just to have these things, you know? Because to live, having to, buy money with real food or having to pay full rent, it's too hard. It really is. I mean, hey, listen, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm shit. I work. I got two children that live with me. You know, I pay a substantial amount of rent and groceries and paying child support too for a damn kid, not a damn kid, for a kid that lives with me. The system is rigged, bro. The system is built for us to lose, you know? But it is what it is. But you see, men, they don't, men, we can't go to the government and ask them for, for some, hey man, I need some help. Nah, we have to get it from the sweat of our brow. These women, they can stick their hand out and lean on Esau Edom with you being the sacrifice. Cause when they get these benefits, a lot of them got to put you on that port, man. They got to put you on that child support, all of that, man. And even if you ain't on child support, these like the woman, they still depend on this devil, man. So therefore, they respect this devil and lose respect for you and deal with you treacherously. You know. So it says, oh mate, was I done with this? Let me read this. Let me finish reading this. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to get said. It says so. It would also impose a 2-year cap on rental assistance for able-bodied adults, which it said was insured at an even bigger share. So like it, which it said would ensure an even bigger share of federal subsidies went to the elderly and disabled. Right. So basically, it said you got a 2-year cap of this, man. So I don't know if it's like okay, once this pass, or if it's gonna pass, Lord willing, it does. Once this pass, all right. So okay, you've been on the system for this many years. You done, or does it start whenever it goes in effect? Don't know. You at the mercy of this devil. So that's why the scripture says, and we'll get it. Well, matter of fact, let's read this. Let's read this. It says proposed snap cuts could hit Louisiana families, retailers hard. It says, uh, let me just get right here, cause this talking about Louisiana. This is where I'm at, man. It says as grocery prices remain high and inflation continues to. Let me just stretch this out, man, cause it's not doing too much for me. All right. It says grocery as grocery prices remain high and inflation continues to stretch household budgets, families across the Bayou State are already feeling the pinch. Cutting SNAP benefits could leave many having to choose between groceries and other essentials like rent and utilities. So you gonna be stuck between a rock and a hard place. We gonna eat, or we gonna have a roof over our head? Which one? Or we gonna have lights? Which one? That'd be a hard pill to swallow, man. Because when you ain't got the money, you just ain't got the money, and these people want their money. It don't matter what it is. Either you gonna pay the rent and not have no food, or you gonna go get some food and not pay the rent. And because you can, let's just put it in perspective. You can say your rent can be $1,000, right? But you only have $1,000, and that $1,000 has to go towards the rent, or some food, or your lights. You need all three. Okay? This is the predicament that a lot of people are going to find themselves in as time progresses, man. All right? You're going to have to make a decision. It says the Louisiana Department of Children and Family Services reported that as of early of 2024, more than 830,000 people in the state were receiving SNAP assistance. That's nearly 1 in 5 Louisiana residents. So all of you women, right? You women that have used the system, use your children as weapons, place men on child support, done things that it really fucked up their life because you use the system. This same system is about to fail you, man. Right? Because look what it. Remember in the scriptures where it says, lovers seek life, right? It's in Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 4:30. It says, "When thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou clothe thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with the ornaments of gold, thou though thou rentest thy face with painting, in vain shall thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee; they shall seek thy life." And that is a way of this devil seeking thy life, because he's gonna take away your livelihood, man. The one that you trust in, that you loved it so much, he seek thy life, man. Taking away your livelihood from you to where you ain't gonna know what to do. You're not a leader. Whenever real adversity hits you, you tuck your tail and your ears fall back. But women want to be at the forefront of every goddamn thing. But when adversity come, right, when that flood is beating on the wall, or beating on the door, then what you do? You try to stick your head in the sand, like what that is, the ostrich bird, man. But the danger is still there. The destruction is still there. So your lovers will despise you, and they feeling that right now, man. It says these aren't extravagant benefits. They're often just enough to cover the basics. Yeah, that's right. Because you have women that get food stamps, but they still ain't got no damn food in their house. Because the prices of groceries has gone up, man. Food is becoming like so high. The cost of living is becoming high. And even then, families sometimes have to get creative to make it last a whole month. They got to get creative. I know damn well you go, some people go to Sam's, get milk, freeze the milk. Okay, shit, you make a big ass, get some rice and gravy, you know, shit. Or sometimes you just cook a pot of rice, season the rice, and just eat the rice. However it is to make shit stretch, and Jake know how to make it stretch, but hey, shit, you getting vouchers of, food stamps, and it's still not enough, you know? Groceries is high, man. It says if the proposed cuts move forward, that will challenge challenge will only grow tougher. Retailers, especially ones that serve lower income communities, stand loose too. Major grocers like Walmart, Kroger, and even local family owned stores rely on steady spending from SNAP recipients. And this is how it's going to affect you bitches that want to say, well, I don't get food stamps. Or, well, you know what I mean? I don't get rental assistance. Look how it affects you. It says these places like Walmart and Kroger's, right? These places, you know, they depend on, you know, uh, people with SNAP benefits, to keep, business and commerce going. Now, when you ain't got that and they're not spending no money, then these places shut down, man. People lose jobs. Where you gonna get your food, your groceries at? A lot of these franchises, a lot of these, these retail stores are closing. They are closing. So now you really got, your big names that's in the earth, man, like Walmart and Kroger's and whatnot, down here in, you know, where I'm at, Lake Charles. And look, it speaks to Lake Charles. Look, it says it says Walmart only captures more than 25% of SNAP related grocery purchases in the US, according to CNBC. And market research of the and market research firm Numerator, Kroger and Albertson also make up a sizable share. So they depend on these SNAP benefits. If benefits shrink, so will those sales. It won't just affect big name brands, neighborhood stores and places like Opelousas, Lake Charles, and river parishes could see major hits to the to their bottom lines. Even stores like the dollar store. I can't wait till the dollar store go down. I can't wait till the dollar store go down. Even dollar stores like Dollar General and Dollar Tree, which Louisiana families often depend on for budget friendly groceries, could feel the squeeze. Dollar General CEO Todd Vasos recently acknowledged that many of their shoppers are already sacrificing even on the necessities. So you got people that's going getting to the cash register, seeing that number go up and seeing all the groceries that they got left, they take stuff and put it back on the shelf, man. They take stuff and putting it back on the shelf, man. Okay? So these budget cuts, on housing and SNAP benefits, And they even got it to where you can't. They proposing not to buy soda, candy, junk food, man, with SNAP benefits, man. And here it is, you seeing your lover despise you, man. The one that you trusted in so much, that got you sitting prideful, talking to men, dealing with men, in a harsh way, thinking that you are something special when you really the fuck not. Only thing you really offering is, a food stamp card and another nigga kids. That's all you over here offering. So this is why the scripture says in the book of Isaiah 32. This is Isaiah 32 and 9. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall come not. So this is that vintage. Food stamp, housing assistance, child care, shit. Hey, listen, what I've heard that it ain't you can't get child care right now because there ain't no funding. You see what I'm saying? Many days it says, "Tremble, ye women that are at ease." A lot of you women, y'all at ease because y'all feel like they got to take the government gonna do something. So you really have faith in the strength of Pharaoh. You got faith in the strength of Pharaoh, not in the Lord, because having faith in the Lord, you can't just say I got faith in the Lord, because a lot of people do that. Oh, I got faith in the Lord. God gonna do this. God gonna do this. No, but you outside you outside of order. You outside of order because you gonna say you got faith in God, but leaning on Esau, Edom. No, they don't go like that. You know, it do not go like that. Let's see. NLT. It says, "Listen, ye women who lie around in ease. Listen to me, you who are smug." Now, when you go into the word smug, when you look up the definition of that word smug, it means to be proud about someone's accomplishments and things of that nature. It says, oh, come on, man. What's the big idea? It says, having shown an excessive pride in oneself or achievement, right? Complacent, self congratulatory, right? Superior, puffed up. And look who's these women are puffed up here in this Western culture, man. You see? They got a car, you know, they can work their little 40-hour job or whatever job that they got and still receive, SNAP benefits and, housing assistance. So they like basically set up so they're at ease. They proud. They feel like they independent, but still leaning on Esau Edom. They feel like they independent. But in a short time, just little more than a year, right, you careless women will suddenly begin to care. You will suddenly begin to care. Why? Because the shit that you trusted in, the hand that you trusted in, the strength of Pharaoh that you trusted in, for your fruit crops will fail, right? That EBT ain't gonna have that much money on it like it's supposed to, huh? You see, that housing assistance ain't gonna be really assisting no more, and the harvest will not never take place again. And once this thing start to fall, and drain and whatnot, it ain't coming back. You know, it ain't no healing Babylon, so it ain't gonna be, oh, they gonna shake back. You gonna fall in line under what we call Jacob's trouble, man, right? Because that's what we going into, Jacob's trouble. Tremble, ye women of ease. Throw off your complacency, strip off your pretty clothes, and put on burlap to show your grief. Beat your breast in sorrow for your bountiful forms and your fruitful grapevines. For your land will be overgrown with thorns and briars. Your joyful homes and happy towns will be gone. Y'all. So, this is the day of the Lord, man. This is what we look forward to, to befall America, man. Okay? Because the women, you women, have been really haughty, man. Look at this. Really been getting. Think about somebody that's been just receiving aid all their life, man, and got all comfortable. That's just like how women. I see this all the time in these refineries. Women that get these jobs, I'm not understanding that when you work in the refinery, when you come in the refinery for like a turnaround or a project, they don't understand when it's called a project. That means it has a time limit. It has a time limit. They see that a structure is being built, things are being built. All right, so they're gonna work and think they're gonna have a job with the company at the place what they're building. No, you're there to do a job, a craft. Once you're done doing what you like, when doing what you're doing, you get the hell. You smash out. Like a person that you hire to clean your pool, that dude come there, clean your pool, and he's done and he's leaving, right? But then they'll get these jobs, and in 3, 4 months they get comfortable. They get comfortable. They treat the dude that they get with or have at home like shit because they making their own money. So women really having money and being independent is detrimental to their soul, man. Because they don't know how to handle power. They don't know how to handle, being able to make decisions, man. Right? Because even though you probably right made good decisions, your credit is good, XYZ, it still destroy your character as a woman. You don't understand how to be humble. You don't understand how to shut the fuck up. You don't understand that you can't deal with men, in any kind of way. You don't understand that you really and truly need a man, right? That's what this devil has done. He's got these women real, real, real comfortable, man. Okay? And they got real disrespectful, you know? And you just and Trump, right? Trump put these tariffs on them, and you can just about well, it's affecting the grocery store, but when it's dealing with, I seen some going about the wigs and the beauty stores, man. Right? That's Ezekiel the third chapter. Ezekiel 3. So the Lord is stripping you from everything that made you what you would feel who you are. You know, stripping your ass. This is Ezekiel 3:16. It says, "Son of man, I have no." Um, is it Ezekiel 3:16? Hmm. Is it Ezekiel 3:16? Maybe. I don't know. Uh, let's try Isaiah. Okay, this is Isaiah 3:16 in the T. There it is. It says, and Yahweh says, beautiful Zion is haughty, cranking her elegant neck, flirting with her eyes, walking with her dainty stuff, tinkling her bracelets. That's how these women is, boy. They get a little like, especially with social media. You look, bro. These women be on housing assistance, food stamps. They got the man on child support. They receiving aid from every damn body, but they independent, man. They get housing assistance. They get food stamps. They get child support. Right? You are taken care of. You know. So the Lord will send scabs on her head, and Yahweh will make beautiful Zion bald, man. Right? So when you read in the KJV, man, it says, "I shall smite thy, hold up, smite thy head with the scab." Man, the brother always laugh at that. Right? It says smite the crown. Therefore, 17. Therefore, the Lord will smite a scab with the scab the crown of thy head, the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover thy secret parts. In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tingling ornaments about their feet, and their calls, and their round tires like the moon, their chains, their bracelets, their mufflers, right? The bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands, and the tablets, and the earrings, The rings, the nose jewelry, the changeable suits of apparel, and the manties and the wimples and the crisping pins. The Lord's gonna take away all that shit that make you what it is, because you got some women that's ugly as hell, but they put that makeup on, and that changes a lot. And the different type of clothes that they wear and make it'll make a woman look attractive. But the Lord gonna take that all away. Gonna make your ass bare like he doing Esau Edom. So the fall of Esau Edom is synonymous with the fall of the so-called nigger woman, man. Right? Glasses and fine linen and hoods and veils, and it shall come to pass, instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. Right? Yeah. Instead of a sweet smell, it shall be stink. I mean, a lot of y'all smell like what the hell now, you know? But instead of a sweet smell, it shall be stink. You're not gonna be able to have your toiletries like you need, man. So it's gonna be a stinking sensation around here. Okay, that stinking sensation. It's gonna be have a stink box running around here. Think about, you can't get your toiletries, man, because you got a certain famine in the earth, man, certain famine in the land. All right, instead of a girdle of rent, and instead of a well set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girdle of sackcloth, and a burning instead of beauty. Okay, so the Lord gonna strip you bare of everything that you feel made you who you are. You know, a lot of women feel like you know, their power, or if you will, is in their beauty, which it is. A lot of women, dudes real. That's why you got scriptures like stumble not at the beauty of a woman, because men stumble at the beauty of women. And then if you got, and then I don't know what's wrong with these niggas these days. I don't care for a woman that got her own like that. I don't care for a woman that got her own, or just okay. That's cool. Congratulations, but a woman that got her own, you gotta understand that also come with a certain attitude. Or I don't need no man X Y Z. That come with an attitude, you know. But nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Shit, bitch better have her own, especially coming with some damn kids, you know. Because I was talking to some nigga today, man. He was I mean, not today. The other day, he was like, man, we were just talking, and so he was telling me how he got 3 kids at his house, and 2 of them is not his, you know. And I was like, and the woman still talking shit to him. I'm like, and you taking care of all the bills and shit? You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah. And so I'm like, nigga, what? He said, but it takes a real man to raise another man kids. I'm like, bro, some woman told your dumb ass that, man. Some woman told you that shit to guilt trip you or manipulate you into making you feel bad, because if you didn't want to take care of another nigga kids because her kids come with her. Well, take her and her motherfucking kids and send her dirty ass up the damn road, man. Because ain't nobody trying to take care of no other nigga kids, man. You know? You don't see the fruits of that, man. Okay? Dealing with another man kids. That's Western culture. There ain't no stepdaddies in the scriptures. Now you will have women of the Lord that's gonna come with children, man. You gonna have that. You gonna have that, man. Right? But that's why women that got kids that seeking men of the Lord, or if you dealing with a man, if you got a man of the Lord and you got kids for another man, you better be fucking humble. You best to be humble, bro, because the Lord will deliver you and knock your damn kids off. That's another man's seed, man. You don't know. You don't know, but because a lot of women still living in that Babylonian spirit. You don't know of the Babylonian spirit of entitlement, man. Okay, and walking around with this pride, man. But what the Lord said about that pride? Uh, what that is? Isaiah was going hard, man. Isaiah 26. This is Isaiah 26 and 5. It says, "For he bringeth down them that dwell upon high." Would you not be sitting on high if You only had to pay $100 rent, just for an example. $100 rent, got food stamps, so you ain't got to spend real money on that. Okay, you would get child care if you got it, child care and child support and Medicaid and working your job. Hey, bro, that's why bitches be able to take these vacations and go on these cruises and have girls tripping all that out, man. You know, because a lot of women work at like these not in the refineries to where you make a substantial amount of money. A lot of women, you choose these jobs, like being a teacher, working at a daycare, retail stores. That's not really money like that. You need to survive working at jobs like that. You need another income. Trust me, I know. I work in the refinery and shit. You know, So for he bringeth down them that dwell upon high, the lofty city. He lay it low, even to the ground. He bringeth it down, even to the dust. So a lot of you women's pride, right? You're going to be humble, man. You're going to be humble. Even you that's not on rental assistance and food stamps. You're going to be humble, man. Let's just say, okay, if you paying rent, right? If you paying rent, you not on food stamps, right? Your rent is gonna go up because your rent is somebody else's mortgage, and if their mortgage go up, they're going to put that cost on you. Groceries are gonna go up. Let's just say you just pay a mortgage, your own mortgage, well, your mortgage company is going to raise your mortgage. Okay, this devil is gonna make it hard to breathe around here, while at the same time everybody got to deal with the same grocery bill. Hmm. So he's going to bring down them that dwell upon high, right? And woe unto you that trusted in the shadow of Egypt, right? So all this independency, oh, I'm independent, or I don't need no man, or I'm good, or this philosophy of, you know, you ain't gotta deal with this or XYZ, or thinking that you don't need a man, that's going to go out of the window, right? Because everything that you say you not gonna do or you won't deal with, right? You're going to find yourself dealing with, right? This is Isaiah 4 and 1. It says, in that day shall 7 women take hold to one man, saying, we will eat of our own bread and wear of our own apparel. Just let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So 7 women shall take hold to one man. Not just any man, it's going to be a man of the Lord, man. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to have women cleaving to other men that ain't men of the Lord, but the high value man in that time gonna be the men of the Lord, right? Okay, saying we will eat of our own bread, saying I don't need you to provide food for me, I don't need you to provide clothes for me. Just only let us be called by thy name, right? Please, I want to marry you, you know, take away our reproach, because these women are going to realize that they need a man of the Lord. They're going to realize the bull crap that Esau Edom was feeding, that Western civilization and Western culture, the American dream was only a dream. But a lot of you women, you're going to get stiff armed, right? You're going to be put down. Like, you're going to be, like, men ain't even going to regard you. They're going to look at you as like shit, like, I mean, look at you. If this wasn't been going on, if this wouldn't be happening, would you be here? Hell no, you'll still be scoffing. See, because a lot of you women that make these Hebrew Israelite videos, want to talk about the Hebrew Israelites and got a lot to say, yeah, you're going to be dealt with. Oh, yeah, you're going to be dealt with. Calling us fools, calling us foolish, right? Worried about, the cares of this life and, things of that nature. Hey, yeah, man, you're going to get put to the side, man. Man, the Lord not going to deal with you. Especially, like, because, like I say, a lot of these women going to come with children. And a lot of you women going to get pushed. Why would we want to take on the burden of children that we're going to have to, provide for and provision and, and all XYZ for with, Jake, because Jake going to have his own kids. Why would he want to deal with that? with some bitch that got you before all this happened. You had a big opinion. Oh, you don't need no man. You could do this by yourself. You the mama and the daddy. Well, okay, we'll be the mama and the daddy now. You see, do all that now, right? But shit gonna be so bad that 7 women shall take hold to one man, saying we will eat of our own bread and wear of our own apparel. Cause women got this in their head that hey, we don't he only gotta be dealing with me, one man, one woman. Well, men of the Lord are not on that vibration. We are not on that vibration, right? We don't want to hear that one man, one woman shit. We don't deal like that. We're not built to just deal with one woman. It's wise to in this society. Let me say that. It's wise to deal with one woman in this society. If you got one woman and she's giving you a run for your money and not a run for your money because you shouldn't be calling yourself a man of the Lord if a woman is giving you a run for your money, man. You know what I'm saying? You a man of the Lord. These scriptures give you your strength, man. You know, you should dictate everything to how the relationship gonna go. Everything should go through you, man. And once she start getting outside of order, hey man, you just kick her ass like, all right, man, we ain't got to talk. Don't talk to her. Don't talk to her. When this day comes, she gonna come running back. But hey, nah, no, 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 no. He that is filthy, let him be filthy still. You know, because you got some women that call themselves leaving men of the Lord, you know, because that character development and, still, Western culture still lives within them and, all these things and, and unlogical thinking and, the lack of rationality is not in them because a lot of women are really like children. They call themselves living men of the Lord and they know better. So whenever the time come, when that flood, when that flood come to roaring, and they seeking, hey man, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. This is Micah 7:10. Well, I'm gonna read it in the NLT. This is Micah 7:8. Do not gloat over me, my enemies, for thou, for though I fall, I will rise again. See, because women they really have it on easy mode in this society. They really live, so a woman can go somewhere for an oil change, and because she look good, a dude will just do her oil change for free, or give her half off, or hook her up with something just because she look good, right? A man, he got to pay full price anywhere he go, you know. Just because a woman look good, a lot of like certain like in if a woman if you a woman and you actually probably fell and tuned in on this video, it's a lot of times where you and I'm talking to your ass. There's a lot of times when you didn't went somewhere to where a man did something for you just because you was a woman. Okay? And us men, we gotta go through that hell. All right? Ain't nobody finna. You walk up in a building with a lot of everybody in there is a man, right? Everybody in this building is a man, and you a man. You walk in that building, ain't nobody getting up for you to have a seat. A woman walk in that building, a man gonna get up for her to have a seat. But they want to scream equality. Anyway, it says, "Do not gloat over me, my enemies, for though I fall, I will rise again." And the Israelite man has fallen in this society. All right. Because you remember the scripture says, the Lord does a new thing in the earth where a woman shall compass a man. For though I sit in darkness, Yahweh will be my light. This is going into the elect man. All right. The elect man was in darkness. But now, through the light of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, he can see, man. I will be patient as the Lord punish me because this is hell, man. Having your woman to rule over you, you can't really enjoy your seeds. You use them as a weapon. Or say if you dealing with a woman that got kids, she feel like it's weird shit. Okay, it's just Western culture weird shit. For I have sinned against him. Okay, but after that he will take up my case and give me justice for all I have suffered from my enemies. So you women have become an enemy to the Israelite man. You women have become enemies to the Israelite men through trusting in this devil in Western culture. Western culture promotes that ratchet ass mouth. You know, Micah 7:10. She that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her when it's which said unto me, where's Yahweh thy power? Right? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down like the mire of the street, man. So a lot of you women that, you ain't got to actually say those words, where's the Lord thy power? It's the shit that you do, thinking that the day of the Lord not gonna come on your ass when you least expect it. You can be conscious of the truth, but your actions show you how much you are part of this world, how much of Babylon is, has gotten within you. Okay? And this right here, this is showing you how hard the woman is going to fall, man. This right here is showing you how hard the woman is going to fall. Because think about when they cut them benefits off, when they cut that shit to where you can't live life on easy mode no more, you know, you women are going to be going out of your damn mind. You see? And that's why you're gonna cleave to one man. That's why a lot of you women that says that I'm only he better be dealing with me and only me, or two can play that game. Oh, it ain't gonna be like that. It ain't gonna be like that. Everything that you said that you wasn't gonna deal with, you're gonna find yourself fucking dealing with a smile on your face. Okay? Cause ain't no man of the Lord gonna accept any woman talking shit, or got an opinion. You're gonna look in the way how the destruction and things are gonna be happening. Shut the fuck up. Gonna be your first nature. But when you like, it's like you're gonna be thinking something. Just for an example, a woman will probably think something, want to say something, but the spirit in it, shut the fuck up, and gonna be cool with it. So we seeing Donald Trump, that cruel Lord, right? His attack, everything that he's doing is geared towards you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, right? To get you uncomfortable, rouse you up, okay? Take away the things that you trusted in, man. How you leaned on the shadow of Pharaoh. Hey man, that's gonna be a real upset, man. Right? You women that trust in this society and this system. This system is gonna be your demise, man. Because the system ain't loyal to nobody. It's loyal to the people that put it in place. The system gonna do whatever they wanted to do, chiefly what the Lord wanted to do. All right, and the Lord is bringing that lofty city down, man. So these cuts, that you seeing right here, that's gonna happen, right? With the SNAP and the rental assistance and all that like that. Homelessness is going to skyrocket, man. You're gonna see a whole bunch of women, working that damn corner again, man. Trying to do what they gotta do to survive. You're gonna be in survival mode for real. All that to find you a man that don't play about you, all his stepkids, all that shit gonna be out the fucking door, man. That is sickening. All right. That's the men that wake up and feel, and just spiritually autistic ass niggas, man. Okay. So look what is happening. Look what is happening. Look how the scriptures are coming to pass. Ye women that are at ease, right? Think about how at ease a person would be if they getting housing assistance, food stamps, Medicaid, child care. They getting all these incentives, man, child support. Look how at ease that she is. The scripture says, rise ye women are at ease. So the time of threshing is coming, man. All right? So, Lord willing, you are edified. Shalom.